Right. Who wants it? I think we're here.
No volunteers this week.
So Ralph, that means it's you.
Okay, well, I didn't prepare it all, so you'll have to explain to me what all the words are. Ahachen para harakti, something in ta ushebi. So then, Ray of the Two Horizons, he did something to the servant.
The something is shun, and in Coptic it's shone. I think
Shone.
shone. What does that mean again? Is that
Shone.
shone? It's something bad, but I forgot what exactly. Is it
Suffer?
suffer? Yes, that's right. Suffer.
He suffered.
I think that's a transient verb, and the next word is the object. He suffered the response.
Oh,
Um,
so try
and
to
that ushabi is the same as the statue. The
Right. It's not that they're servants, it's they stand up and say,
Ooh.
I'm here, I'll respond when somebody
They
calls.
answer.
Oh.
Right, I answer. Okay.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's no, please go on. Sorry.
Okay. So E, Jed, E and F. EUF Nechema.
Is there an E?
I think it's
Her passage chef. So I didn't, yeah, I don't get all these EU things or EU things, but he's saying something, and while he's saying something, he is Nechemau. He's lying down on his bed.
I think the rest of line 10 is a relative phrase modifying the response, modifying ushabi,
I think you're right, but how do you know it?
right? Because it's unmarked. How do you know?
How do you know that's a relative?
Is it marked somehow or is it unmarked? Are we okay? So is the E?
That's right.
So that's also for emphatic too,
Yes.
correct?
And three things. Emphatic. It can be a relative slash what's the other one? I always get them mixed up. Relative or participle. Imperative, relative, or emphatic. But the nice thing, all of these quote unquote weird ones start with that little pathetic E.
Okay, that's interesting.
Okay.
So where is that in Czerny and Grawl, do you know?
Hang on, where is that in
The relative form? It's page 50, chapter 50.
Have a look.
And I don't see the E in front.
Yeah, 51 is relative form, page 480.
51, yeah.
And then you also have the participles, and I think the difference there, if I remember correctly, what Christian said about that is essentially who does the thing. So is it the words that he said, for example, or the words that, so is the subject given or not? But the nice thing is, in either case, you have the little E and A2 man with a hand to the mouth there to basically indicate it's one of those forms.
Now, can E sometimes be a verb for saying?
That I know of. Have you
For
seen
some reason, I thought that. Anyways, yeah, we can go on.
Okay.
Don't want to waste too much time with it.
Okay.
Random question. How do you guys, are you guys just reading Cherney and Grohl in the background? Is that kind of what you're doing to
Yep.
keep up on grammar?
Yeah, when I have some, when we talk about some grammar feature, I try and find it in Turning and Roll and read what they say to reinforce what we're talking about.
I'm using Jung a lot too,
Yeah, okay.
and even a little bit of the Ramses one, language of Ramses.
Cool.
I should like systematically just go through Cherney and Grohl, but
It's a little dry.
I mean, it's a good point though. Hang on. Maybe let's pull that up real quick because I remember last time we had talked about, since we didn't really do the class, wait, how do you do this? I can pull up Cherney real quick. We can take a quick look at the relatives. It's probably not a bad idea. What do you guys think?
sure.
Yes, please.
I think it'd help me. Yeah.
I mean, what I really like about Late Egyptian compared to Middle Egyptian is that everything is so nicely and clearly marked. Versus Middle Egyptian has all these hidden forms. At least that's how it looks to me. Somebody who's dabbled in Middle Egyptian but never really studied it systematically until now. Where is Monsieur Cherney? I hope I have him. Normally I use the paper copy. Do you see him here anywhere?
Do you have a searchable PDF
Is it,
of Cherney and Grohl?
Not even sure if I have a Cherney and Grohl at all. Let me see.
is it linked on the late Egyptian syllabus?
The where? Oh, is it on our? Is it in our?
I think
Oh,
it's up there. Yeah.
is it? If one of you wants to share, that's also good. Page 480. Does somebody have it?
I don't have it up.
I,
Sorry.
I got. It'll take a second though.
Then let's do that.
All right. And what page is it?
480.
All right. Is this it?
Share. Stop share. All yours.
480.
480. 80.
All right. Share screen. Here we go. And I got to go back to it now. I'm close. I got to find it now so I can scroll through it. That's not it. All right. PDF there. Okay. Can you see it? Move. 480.
There
All
you go.
right.
So that's cool. So if you look at the examples under 5131, so Panup Igemen, the gold which we found. So basically the gold, Panup, or Nebu, however you want to pronounce it. I'd still like to think that there's a U vowel somehow in the first syllable. And then comes Gem to find, still around in Coptic, but with a little E in front of it. And then the subject behind it. So it's the gold that we found.
I see. So the relative is marked by the E in front.
Right.
Okay.
Right. And then the N is the suffix subject pronoun.
Right.
Okay.
It could also be a noun if you look at the next example. So next example, Tamejat, EDA, whatever A is, whoever A is, and then it goes on basically, Mbachchati. So the document, and then comes the relative, ED, that given or that gave, or however we want to translate that. And then comes the subject, which in this case could have been a noun, I think. And
Wow,
then-
that is fantastic. That's really good. I can see why Christian likes it. Yeah, that's nice.
I mean, Johnny Groll is just great because he has an unbelievable amount of examples, and also normally he shows for every form, but it looks like for different verbs. Let's see if that's true here. If you go back to the previous chapter, which is participles, which is chapter 48, 49. Yeah, actually, if you go to page 463, that's kind of cool too.
Oh, close. There we go.
So that's the description and journey of the prothetic yod, that little thing in front.
Good band name, by the way.
Say again.
The Prothetic Yod is a good name for a band.
It totally is.
I would totally be in that band. Yeah, as a group.
You are in that band. That's us, guys. Like, come on.
We got a band name now. Coolest factor in Creed. Too funny. But yeah, so you can see what he's doing there. A whole bunch of examples that what Johnny always does. He shows you like for different verbs how it's actually formed, and that goes on for I think a couple of pages. And then he has a few examples where you can also see. Well, there are few examples. He says the prothetic yod is usually omitted when the participle is preceded by the definite article or by a demonstrative pronoun. That's on 465. Yep, there you go. So in some cases, this is not visible, maybe because, I mean, I'm assuming this little e is supposed to indicate that, say, for example, if normally it would be gim to find, it's supposed to indicate that there's like a little vowel before that. Igim, egem, who knows? And so maybe that just goes away in pronunciation if there's an article in front of it, or rather a demonstrative pronoun. I think this is highly, highly phonetic.
Awesome. Very nice.
Do you know, does the prothetic yod last into Coptic at all?
I don't think so. I think those relatives are completely, the relatives and the participle, I think, are completely gone. The only thing that may stay, I'm not sure if it survives in any of the imperatives. And that's the funny thing, actually. So the imperatives in late Egyptian have that little pathetic yod as well. Looks the same. You can just tell from context and the grammatical construction. I mean, how the sentence is built, that those are imperatives, but it looks similar. Same two little characters in front. The one word that doesn't have it, I think the word for to give doesn't have it. And that suddenly has like an extra vowel in Coptic. So it's kind of weird. Was it sometimes not written? Is it a different dialect? Because it's like amu in Coptic. Wait. Am I mixing up my to give and my to go? Scratch that. One of the two has the pathetic yod in quote unquote in Coptic. I mean, just in the pronunciation, but for some reason it's not there in late Egyptian. Which is kind of weird. Does that mean something, or was it just a scribal habit? I think it probably meant something, but well, different story. Should we go back to our text?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very helpful. Thank you.
Oh,
Do you want to bring it up if you have it, or should we go back to mine? Okay, let's go back to mine. So, where were we?
So Simpson has the Ushebi as the response that Ray has received. It's not Ray's response, it's the thing that he's heard. So the response which was said to him. So the NF is indirect, is the indirect object.
You're right.
Yep.
So it's not a relative, then it's a participle, actually. The answer said to him. Relative would be the answer said by him. And I think that would, oh, and that's another thing.
Does the Y tell you distinguish between them at all? Because
think
it's
so.
Jedi. That makes it a participle, doesn't it? The Y at the end.
This one here, after Jedi, yeah, you're right. That's right. The passive participle has an extra Y often.
Right. So the response. Right. So he's shown the response. He became angry at the response that was said to him. The response said to him. EUF. So circumstantially, he laid down on his back, her Pesajef. EBF, while his heart, something bad, very greatly. So his heart was very troubled by what was said, something like that.
That makes sense.
I'm missing the vocabulary.
I had the Jew as sad. Yeah, really
As-
sad.
Me too.
Okay.
Is it a noun? Is it a infinitive? I mean, it's obviously a noun because it's the object of the preposition are.
Hmm.
Is it the stative as an infinitive or?
That's it. I honestly don't know. I thought it was a noun, but let's see.
So it's like a something bad or the bad one.
Right, let's go just has it as an adjective, but
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
sure that's real.
Mm, yeah.
And
They have it as a verb. Okay.
To be bad, essentially, or to be evil.
Oh,
So-
and then my question there with the Aya and where is that like they have it very, very. So is that what's emphasizing? That's what's emphasizing the badness.
Yeah, the where is an adverb, basically like a lot.
Oh, okay.
So is actually an adjective there? Like they have them both as adverbs, but
Yeah. Uh-oh.
or
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, true.
So I think the Jew is a infinitive with two modifying adverbs on it. Right?
That would make sense from what Ramses has got here. Yeah.
Yeah.
so his heart was greatly darkened, very much darkened.
Hmm.
Nice.
I've got a couple questions about the suffix pronouns. And if going back up here to this this line here with he, is it are the suffix pronouns on the infinitives? We've seen them as objects rather than subjects, right? So is it like he lays it down? There, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Actually, something else. It's
Or
not.
is it a Sejm F?
You were correct. It's that is the object, but just whom does he lay down?
He lays him down?
Is it
Himself.
reflexive then? He
Yeah,
lays
it's the
himself
reflexive
down or
pronoun.
something
He
like
lays himself down,
Okay, so it's
Upon-
reflective.
his back.
That's right. He did lay himself down on his back. That's how I would read that.
that?
Okay.
Is this
So he's
equivalent
so
to-
slain by the presumptuousness of the argument.
By that
But he has to
wicked
lay
guess about
down.
his empty shrine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And his heart is very dark. He can't get up again.
And his back has a divine determinative
It's
on
pretty
it.
awesome. Yeah.
Oh, it does?
He
Yeah.
laid himself. Yeah. He slept himself on his divine back.
Isn't that something?
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I've seen that before. When he reached out his hand, when someone reached out their hand or something, there was a royal determinative on it.
You're right. That's missing in the transcription, isn't it? Wait, no.
No, did we miss? No, it's there.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Not in ours.
Message F and then the bird on a stick.
The Ramses Online doesn't have. Oh no, it does have it.
Yeah, they have. It's the classifier
Yeah.
after the suffix pronoun, which is a little weird, but
And yet, his heart is not divine. Look at that.
What about
And
that? Yeah, you're
his
right.
heart
I
was
wonder if
his
that's because
regular
the
old
E-
heart.
I wonder if it's because the Eve is more of a metaphor. It's not. They're not thinking about it as a body part. They're thinking about it as his mood or something. But I don't know.
Interesting.
Hmm.
I don't know what to make out of that little R here, though. His heart was toward blah blah blah. Is that normally? I would think when I see like you or a and then a suffix pronoun. Oh, well, okay. There's an ip in between. But if I see basically e u plus an r afterwards, I'm thinking future 3, but that doesn't fit at all.
No, I think it's an adverbial phrase modifying Eve. But maybe I'm thinking in Middle Egyptian. I don't know. But
No, but I think you're right. This is right at the cusp, right? I mean,
yeah, his heart was in the role of being sad or
Yeah.
I think you're right. Later, this becomes the future, but maybe at this point in time,
Yeah.
it doesn't necessarily mean that yet.
I kind of saw it as a movement, as his heart towards badness. His heart became sad,
it went towards, yeah.
Mm.
Makes some sense, yeah. All right. Other questions about this one? I think the verb for to lie down is nema. This one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
True.
not Nechem but Nema.
I think so.
Is
Yeah.
what is that hieroglyph with the pot with the stick coming out of it, or is that? I think I was mistaking that for the hoof, but that's not what that is.
Right. It looks very similar. You're right. Well, I'm guessing it's none. Honestly, I don't.
Indeed.
Flip study they were asking the other day, somebody was asking, why do you need all these phonetic complements? And I was thinking, well, because often you don't remember what the bilateral yeah, but isn't it true? So yeah, I think it's none. But what it depicts.
It is.
It is? Okay.
Yeah. That's
It's
right.
in the word friend. I know.
And the word friend.
And mess.
It's T34.
That's right. Kevin, friend, hen mess. Am I thinking of the right word?
That sounds correct. Oh, T34. I'm gonna look it up.
It's a butcher knife, according to Alan.
Oh,
What do you say?
Alan says it's a butcher knife.
Oh,
well,
Yeah,
that's
kinda
why
like-
it's in the word friend.
Makes sense.
Because all friends have, butcher knives, right? Yeah.
Oh, friend.
34. Yeah, butcher's knife.
It does look like it's in a little flower pot, though. That's funny.
Because
I
Yeah,
saw it as
in-
something
in-
in a flower pot in my mind's eye.
Yeah, me too.
In terms of the just correlation between sign and somehow meaning, I've always wondered about the Egyptian word for mother, right? Which has the vulture in it. And so it's like, did you think of your mothers as vultures or something like that? But
No.
anyway.
There used to be a medieval guy who would say that vulture means mother because vultures, there are no male vultures.
yep.
and they were wrong. But then recent
It's such a
science,
medieval sentiment, though, right?
yeah, yeah.
Right, right.
Of
Wow.
course, there are no male vultures.
Wow.
Everybody knows that.
Modern scientists have found that vultures can, that female vultures can reproduce without sex.
Right, parthenogenesis, yeah. Parthenogenesis, so, sorry, you're right. Yeah, and there's also, that was one explanation in Horapollo, I think he says that you use the vulture because the vulture takes good care of their young, something like that.
Oh,
But
okay.
also those typical etymologies that you also get when people learn kanji but don't know the origin of a character, you just make up a story. I think it
Right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
must have been a homonym. I don't know what the word for vulture was, but
Mm.
I would bet a lot of money on it that that's what it is, because it's normally true for the other ones. For example, Horapollo also says that the word for open, so WN, right, is written with the hare, because a hare's eyes are always open. And of course, and of course, that's just rubbish. I mean, the word for hare and the word for to open a door, like one, they're just homonyms. So you use one to write the other, and you add a little door glyph to it. But yeah, that's
It's
how.
a mnemonic. It's not an etymology.
Exactly.
The Horapollo stuff.
It's easy to conflate those over time.
Yep, yep. And in Chinese, I see it happen all the time. Even native speakers make up those stories like on the spot, or they've believed it for decades. And if you
Yeah.
Wow. Sure.
I think the brain just naturally does that. We're
Mhm.
not so
Yeah.
good with questions, leaving stuff open.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So we have another sentence down.
Should we look at the glyphs? Should we look at the writing?
Hieratic.
Go on.
Okay. Who wants to?
So the aha n is pretty normal. Pa, the aleph. The ra, right? The ra goes around and it's different. I still have trouble telling all the circle sides apart, but it's like the order you do the strokes somehow
Yeah.
makes it a different shape.
The Ra has the tick in the middle, which really helps. That color is ugly.
So is okay, and then there's a stick, and then there's a Horus, and then there's another stick, right? Because it's Ra Horakti.
Right.
And there's two sticks after the double horizon,
Yes.
which Christian said that one time that it means horizontal rather than two horizon.
I just love the horizontal horrors.
So didn't you, someone posted it, was it you, Aurelia, that posted that big meme of a bird lying flat on the ground? The horizontal.
I think it was an owl, though, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right, it was.
But I couldn't find a flat falcon. Horizontal horrors, that's pretty fun. Then we have a bad bird.
Always with that line.
Yes. It's funny how they're almost indistinguishable in the hieroglyphs, and they're so clearly different in hieratic. Like it's no problem at all to tell them apart.
Right. Agreed.
So you
Yeah.
got just that.
Because then you got to
Really
look at the
different shape.
details in the hieroglyphs, and then
Like the tail is ever so slightly different between the bin bird and the werebird, but
yeah.
Right. I was just putting a little shun or a shun in there. I'm not sure if that's how it goes. I haven't looked at the sign yet, but something like that, I guess.
looks like it, yeah. And then the ta is, I guess you know it's a ta because it can't be anything else.
Right. Although actually, honestly, it's pretty good. If you look at the
Do
T,
you, are you starting to recognize those? Like I just see some random number of squiggles.
well, maybe I'm rationalizing it because I know what it is, but this thing here could only be really two things. This could be either our Aleph bird, so more fully like this, right? Or it could be that really short form of the book roll, one of the two. And it has sort of like a T on top. Of course, I mean, we all know this is a Japanese A, but no.
Yeah, that I believe.
Right? So,
I'll take your word for it.
Oh my God, now I'm not gonna be able to unsee that.
Yeah, I'll just remember it as Ta is A. It's really clear.
Oh my God.
okay. But no,
Okay.
I think this one is defensible. And when it looks more like this, then it's a na. When there's this, the difference between the two is the T really has like it's hard to do with this little electronic thing, but for the T, the horizontal stroke is really the main one that you always see. This can be neglected, but this part cannot. And for the N, this one's more curvy, or something like this. So
Hmm.
I would claim that actually becomes more intuitive with time.
So for Ushebi, the oh, am I looking in the wrong place?
No, you're right.
Right, we have quail trick, we have shin, we have B, and then we have a curl W, which is ligatured into the two reed leaves. Yeah, so that's the. I was getting confused about which was the quail chick and which was the rope. But
The rope in hieratic is much longer. I mean, not this one, but the like if you really need like a rope. I think it looks different.
like the 100 rope, is that what you're thinking of, or
The 100
or the
rope.
wah rope? That one's quite different.
Yeah, there is
Well, it's like a lasso.
Well, there's this one, right, in hieroglyphs. Am I mistaken? I thought there was one more. You have the U rope, and then maybe I'm mixing it up as this thing. Scratch that.
Oh, that one. Which I guess is also a rope or a tie of some sort.
Yeah, would have to bring up mother now. So just scratch it.
And then the calling out guy has a more distinct leg than a lot of them in Ushabti there that determine. So the first, and then there's quite a strong knee there. And so the first talking guy is the determinative of Ushebi. And then the second one is the determinative of the prosthetic yod. And then the third one is the determinative of the verb, or participle, I guess we decided it was, jetty.
Right. Then a little nuff.
And it's jetty in F, which was said to him. And that's pretty run together, yeah. It looks like, in the zoomed in version, it looks like the scribe actually lifted a little bit before they did the F.
I think so, yeah, you're right.
So it's not a continuous thing. It's a very short N and then a normal F. Yeah, you can see it there.
Agree.
That
think
E is a bit
the-
weird.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say is I usually think you have the downstroke and then the side, but it seems like it just went down and then up, or maybe down and then meet in the middle.
Yeah, usually it's more or like diagonal here.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's right. Yeah, this one's odd. Agree.
But EUF and then the NEM looks just like another M.
Yeah, I was just thinking, good luck if you can tell that thing here is actually not an M. I would have thought it's another M.
So in this case, we need the phonetic complements because you can't even recognize the sign. But you don't need it because it says NEM right there. No.
Right. Right. Good point. So this one just looks like the sky hieroglyph with an extra dot, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it would be just our normal.
And then there's something underneath it too.
Right.
Yeah, the sky hieroglyph often has a stroke underneath it, at least in this document.
I think in
Okay.
no in general it has it. I think older doesn't.
And then the shesh or whatever that is a bit, yeah, like that. It's like 3 strokes.
Okay.
It's hard to do curves? Question mark?
It might even be 4 strokes. It looks like the curved bit is maybe
Yeah.
2, like one here and one here that meet.
Right, right.
It's kind of hard to say, huh? I mean, this is I thought this is one thing, but does he start here and then goes like this? Is that what he does?
Hmm. It looks to me like there's a break between the second, like, curve down.
You are
Yeah,
correct.
me too. Me
So
too.
it's like
Is that a
that.
flake though?
It could be a flake.
Could be.
Hmm. We need to look at it more than one, I think. I mean, you're right from what's there.
Yeah.
I think it's this basically, right? That's sort of a
Mhm.
Yeah. That's what it looks like.
2, 3. Possible. I mean, with our modern tools, we would think, oh, you just do this, but I guess it's kind of hard. to read.
Yeah, that seems like so many strokes for something that would seem just intuitively one stroke.
Hmm.
I'm still not used to that hair sign right after the F. I'm expecting more of a like side of a face rather than a
To look more like a
Looks like
face
it-
and less like a
Unless like nothing.
Yep.
yeah. It always looks like a plus or minus sign to me, like yeah, like that.
Yeah.
But that is how they all look in this document. It's pretty consistent.
Mhm.
Hmm. Yeah, you're right. I mean, you just have to know. That's one of those that it's not intuitive at all. I'm
And
not
so the P there, that's definitely a hole in the middle
Yep.
of
Yeah.
it.
sure.
So you just can't see what it looks like really. But yeah, it's that.
It's interesting. It's not
Z.
so long, right? Looks like there was.
Yeah, it's got a really long base on it.
Mhm.
Maybe to match up with the Z.
I think so. He's trying to be fancy on us.
And,
He loved his job, or she loved his job, you know.
and the D is pretty clear except for despite the hole, I think. Like just the
Mhm.
curve on the top really looks like a D to me. Yeah. And then below, you just have to know it's an F, I think.
This I would not have been able to tell.
Yeah. No idea what that is.
And then this one's interesting. That's your limbs here. This one. So I'm not completely sure how you make this. The way he's writing it here, it almost looks like something like this, right?
Mhm.
Would have to pull up Merler now, but I think it often is something that sort of looks like some kind of weird scene. Yeah. Doesn't look very much like the hieroglyph at all.
No.
And a bird on a stick.
Bird on a stick. A more normal looking yod.
That's right.
The pot looks like the ones we've seen before with the 2 handles on the side.
Mhm.
I always thought that was a heart.
Or that's the Eid. Do we have the wrong
Yeah.
hieroglyph there?
Mm.
Oops.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean,
it should be.
it might not be. I mean, it looks like
Is
a
that the
heart in the
Jeshesh
hieroglyph
Eid?
in there.
Yeah,
Yeah, that is
Is that what Jay said?
that looks like a variant, doesn't it? Don't recall. You're right. It looks
Yeah,
a little.
So I just checked, and that is the Eid that Jeshesh produces.
the
I think
Eid?
it looks wrong. It looks like a pot to me, not a heart. But
Oh yeah, yeah. Look right there. Okay.
so sorry, I called it a pot. It's Need.
You're totally fine.
And then here's the determinative stroke next to it.
Right. Little f, little r. The do sign is as simple as can be, right? Stroke, stroke, stroke. Here we have the other version of what the Z could be, namely the book roll this time.
Yeah, well, the first stroke is quite substantial there.
This one?
Yeah, it looks much more like a Z than it often does, but
Mhm.
in the warbird.
I think they really wrote these things as like common combinations. Like if you were to write like the R with the book roll, that's like a glyph.
With the book roll together, with Y1 together is all just one thing.
You can see that here with the word as well. Like whenever they write to say like jet or large, it always becomes this extra long sign. I think that's just trained. Like that's how you write it. I think. I don't know that though. Okay. Who wants the next one? I think we have time for one more.
I can do it.
There we go.
All right, so we got Ehe Ta passage. There's a missing her in there. Puri Ar Bur, and then it goes on to the next sentence. You send. Oh. You send Esh Segabu Ea are her Baba Pa Netcher. Let's leave it at that for now, since we only got 10 minutes. So that would be and then the passage, the what are we calling that? The nine gods, the Ennead.
And guys, burgers and fries. Yeah. Okay. Smite me, mighty smiter. Yeah. That's it. That's a traffic accident in my future. Sorry, Kevin.
Okay, and so then the Ennead went to the outside, which is Ebol, our Bur, our Benner, right?
Right.
And for some reason, the W is not transliterated there after, but then it survives into Coptic. Have you noticed that?
Interesting.
The W.
The W after the B.
Oh. Yeah, right. Normally you wouldn't. Oh, yeah. Oh, true.
Yeah, for some reason, in all the dictionaries, they don't transliterate that, but Ebol has
Right.
that sound in it. So yeah, so then the Ennead went out, and that would be an adverbial phrase with the verb as an infinitive, and then a prepositional phrase as an adjective. And then the circumstantial converter, eu sen, changes the pronoun to a suffix pronoun from the subject pronoun. And then I guess there's another missing her there, because this that esh, which was also used earlier in when they read the letter. This was the verb used in read the letter. And then so then this would be the segabu would be the object. It's a yell. So they gave a yell. Is my guess, right? Unless it's a verb, then it'd be an infinitive. And in either case, it's a noun there. And then the modifier great on it. To the face, there's her being used as a noun rather than an adjective or a preposition. To the face of indirect genitive, Baba, the God.
Right. Sounds perfect to me.
All right.
Can you explain the ash, so the called bit and the yelled bit?
Say that again.
Can you explain the start of line 312, where
Yeah.
it's ash, so they called, and then followed by Sagabu, which is yelled?
Yep. So that I think esh is the verb in this clause here,
Okay.
but it's after missing her, so it's an infinitive, and then the segabu is the object of that infinitive.
Cool. Thank you.
Right? Does that sound right?
Yeah, that does. Oh, and it's like linked. I see ash Sagabu is one thing, like an expression, right? So that's cried aloud. Okay.
Yeah. And we should, let's just go over the, oh, did you go somewhere else? We could go over the glyphs for this so we have this line finished for next time.
Good idea. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Let me go back to the line. Just going to point out that this Ushigabo has occurred by now, I think, 3 times.
Yeah, that's one of the stock things they like to say.
Right. Maybe it's just a fixed expression.
I'll have to say that to my kids. That'll be great.
Okay, all right. So, Kevin, all yours. Whoever wants it. I mean, this puppy is still tricky. The Inead, right? How do you write that? Go away.
This one seems particularly sloppy too. Like some of them, it's quite clear. There's the head and the tail of the snake, and this one there's just kind of a tick.
It is, and the D under it is sloppy too. It's just a sloppy little bit.
Yeah.
He was phoning it in, huh?
It was like 2 minutes until lunch break, and he was like,
It was hard to hold his hand steady after the affront to Hieratic.
That bad. Yep.
Let's see what else. His usual group of the 3 gods.
Yeah, the 3 gods. Only one of them gets a flag.
That's right. Because it looks.
What is the last character on our banner? It's like right above the 2 legs.
Here?
Maybe I'm thinking of something else.
You're talking
Never
about the
mind.
Wa?
Yeah, never mind. Never mind. I think I'm good.
I mean,
Maybe
always
I
have
agree
to
on-
catch myself with those plural strokes looking so much like a bird on the stick.
yeah.
Yeah,
Really have to watch
true.
that.
Right. And the para is a bit confusing.
Yeah.
When you later look like Ramesside, Hieratic has a lot of these tall signs, like our little Q, for example. That becomes really tall, and they like to do this. And I think it's the same here with the per. Well, we can squeeze that in. That's okay. So if you come from Middle Egyptian hieratic, this looks kind of confusing what's going on here, but
Yeah, yeah.
it's just a very slim per. And dual strokes, probably as a phonetic, I would think. I mean, I think they really want to indicate there's a vowel here. Pare, para. Just speculation, but I think that's a vowel thingy here, I'm guessing. Then ebol. Ebol with plural strokes. Little vowel structure. Was reading something interesting yesterday morning about how some signs are later hieratic. I don't know if this is a hole or if this is real, but some signs they get like a little crown later, and it doesn't make any sense for Middle Egyptian hieratic, but it makes sense when you're thinking about trying to disambiguate signs that look more and more similar over time. But I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I can't tell if that's a hole or not.
Yeah. Let's see, anything in the second line? Not really, right? Like a really nice G, little Aleph bird, B. This year, if I didn't know better, so that's kind of confused. Well,
We've seen that one before, though.
yeah.
Right.
You just have to know. That doesn't look anything like what you would expect.
So is that like a tusk or?
Oh, right. It was the tusks that looked like that.
Okay.
So it's just a random pointy body part.
Okay.
As before are her.
And that to me looks
underneath.
more like a regular hair face.
Yeah, there's more of a round thing at the top.
Yeah.
True, you're right. Then the name of the god Baba, B, Pa, little Aleph, big B, medium Pa, little Aleph.
Aleph, the skin and the tail.
That funny skin thingy, yeah. And another Pa, a nature, and yeah, let's leave it at that for today.
Yep.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yep. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Next week.
See you next week. Have a good one.